Hello, I'm continuing my reviews on the Friday the 13th series with Friday the 13th Part 3. Now, Friday the 13th Part 3 was released in 1982, so it was released a year after Friday the 13th Part 2, and this picks up right where Friday the 13th Part 2 left off. Now, Friday the 13th Part 2 ended where the main character, Jenny, believes that she killed Jason, but at the very end, her and her boyfriend Paul are in this cabin, and then it turns out that that Jason actually lived, and he comes bursting through the window, and then the movie ends where Jenny's being loaded onto an ambulance, and you don't know what happened to Paul. You're supposed to assume that maybe Jason killed Paul. So this picks up literally a day after the events of Friday the 13th Part 2, and basically it revolves around a group of college students who are going to this cabin, who are going to this farmhouse, and what happens is, these college students are going to the farmhouse, and the main character is a girl named Chris, who, in the movie, you kind of find out that she's having, you see her boyfriend there, who you realize that they're obviously having some problems with their relationship and stuff, and you get a lot of really likable characters in this movie. Two of my favorite characters are these two stoners who are just freaking hilarious characters. On the car ride on the way there, the character of Shelley asks one of the two stoners, is that all you guys are gonna do this weekend? Smoke dope? And the stoner guy's like, why not? Is there a law against it? He's a pretty awesome character. And another character who's really likable is the character of Shelley, who's kind of this awkward kind of guy, and he always, plays pranks on people, but he always plays them at the wrong time, and, he's a really likable character. You actually feel kind of sorry for him. It's clear the character probably has some problems, but essentially the whole plot line is now Jason is at this farmhouse, and basically it's the same, story formula as the first two movies, as the second movie. Now Jason is stalking and killing each of these college students off one by one. What's interesting, though, is you find out that the character of Chris actually had a run-in with Jason, a few years earlier. It turns out that after a fight she had with her parents, she ran out into the woods and then saw Jason, and basically when she's telling the story, she says after that she blacked out. And it's actually implied that Jason may have actually raped Chris, but they don't touch too much onto that, but it is kind of implied that that may be the case. But now, of course, this movie is famous for being the first movie in the series where Jason gets his hockey mask, and I'm not going to give away how he gets his hockey mask, because that's kind of a spoiler. Let's just say he takes it from one of his victims, yeah, Friday the 13th Part 3, now a lot of people say it's one of their favorites in the series. I think it's a very good addition to the series, but it's not one of my all-time favorites in the series. Now, when the movie came out, it was released in 3D, and I know there's a new DVD of it where you can actually watch it in 3D, but this is the old DVD copy I have. Now, the movie, of course, is directed by Steve Miner, who directed Friday the 13th Part 2, and he directed, and he was the associate producer for the first movie. One thing that I don't want to give too much away about the ending, but one thing I will say is at the very end of this movie, they kind of pay homage to the way the first movie ended. So yeah, Friday the 13th Part 3. Very good addition to the series. Not one of my all-time favorites, but if you're a fan of the Friday the 13th series and you haven't seen this, well, fucking see it then.